Welcome to 5 Minutes with the Motorsport Show, where we take a look and speak to someone from the world of motorsport for about 5 minutes or so. And today on the show we have...
Charlie Wurz. Nice to meet you.
And you too, yes. Charlie Wurz from Formula 3. So with that in mind, I kind of wanted to start by asking, really, when we're at the end of the season now in Formula 3, you're preparing for Monza as we speak. I want to kind of reflect and ask you how you found Formula 3 in your debut campaign this season. What are your kind of takeaways from that? And if you don't mind as well, potentially a little bit look to the future, what you might be hoping to do next year.
Yeah, so this season was my first season in Formula 3. It's been, quite exciting to race along Formula 1 and Formula 2. Been watching Formula 3 for quite a few years now, and to be racing in the championship is awesome in the end. We race overseas in Australia and Bahrain as well, and all throughout Europe. So it's been really good to race at this high level in the end. I think I learned quite a lot this year. It hasn't really gone the way I planned it, or I would have hoped for a better season. As a rookie year, I think we didn't really show the potential that we had. I think we had much higher potential than, in the end we managed to show, but we had the good results in some races, like in Australia. 14th to 5th was a really good race. And in the end, we didn't always manage to show it, but just really good learning in Formula 3. And the plan was always to have it learning in Formula 3 and then really fight for the title in the end next year. That's been the plan.
Fair enough. And of course, you're still 18 years of age, I believe, as well, which makes me feel rather old, because the next question I wanted to ask was relating to, some people might recognize your last name. Obviously, Alexander Wurz is your father. And I just wanted to ask, really, what his kind of influence has been so far in your Formula 3, in your junior career on the whole. And also, what's the main kind of advice that he's given you? And was it always going to be racing in cars? Was always what you wanted to do?
Yeah, so it's always great to have my dad with me. I think I've learned so much from him in the end. He's not always at the race. He has a lot of work, but when he is, I'm always, leaning on him. Can always learn from him, from his vast experience, 20 years of experience or something. So, always really happy to have him in the races. And we never actually raced against each other. We did some races together and some small 80 horsepower cars, and just can learn from each other, from his feedback. I understand how he feels the car, and then I can also learn from that. And it's been really great. And when I started when I was young, I wasn't so interested in motorsports. Actually, I don't think my dad he wasn't pushing me to go into motorsport at all. We just did a rental kart session once when I was 8 years old, and I loved it so much, and I was begging him for about, I think, half a year to do it again. And then finally I managed to convince him. So then we did a small regional karting race, and it kept going like that. I just loved it so much. So he didn't really push it onto me, but just being able to learn from him in the end, from all his experience, has been great. And I'm always really happy to have him with me, but in the races.
I always find that really interesting. It's like you ever get the sons of Formula 1 drivers often being either really pushed to go towards motorsport, or those that just kind of fall into it. I guess with you, it's kind of in the blood in a sense, though. Yeah,
exactly. I think, I'm fourth generation racer. My great grandpa was also a racing driver. My grandpa was 3-time European rallycross champion. So as well, always, basically, whenever we have a family meal, we're always talking about racing and motorsport. So it is in the blood, and it's just great. Also, my grandpa, he has so much experience, and recently he was telling me all his stories from when he was racing, and even also his childhood, how he got into it. And it's just really cool to hear all those stories also from back in the day, and then how it evolved to when my dad was racing, and all his stories. So in the end, the theme in the family is motorsports. And now I think my mum as well has turned into a kind of motorsport addict, because she also travels with me and my younger brother to all the races. So in the end, our family is just fueled by motorsport.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, it's great. It's great that your mum's on board a bit like that too. I suppose to an extent she probably doesn't have much of a choice, but it's great. It's great. But no, honestly, I didn't know that about your grandfather and your great grandfather as well. I guess with that as well, it's kind of on top of that. It's a bit like the more things change, the more they stay the same. I'm sure things have changed immeasurably since his day, but there's a lot of the principles and everything. I'm sure that's very helpful advice to have.
Yeah, for sure. In the end, it's the pedal the metal and go as fast as possible. It stayed the same since the last 60 years. But always, just great to hear the stories and learn from their advice.
Absolutely, yeah. No. Well, thank you so much for your time, Charlie. I really do appreciate it, making the time for this while you're preparing for Monza, like I said.
Yeah, thank you very much for the interview.
Who do you guys want to see on the show next? Let us know in the comments below. And of course, follow us on the social medias, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Microsoft, YouTube, as well as the audio platforms over on Substack and Spotify on top of that as well. But yes, thank you very much, Charlie, and best of luck for Monza this weekend and beyond in 2025 and beyond as well.
Thank you very much.